they're at Buckingham Palace, there's no place that they will be safer from media.
If they do attend the coronation, they won't have a place to stay because they got kicked out of Frogmore.
Yeah.
Why do you think that King Charles wanted them to be removed from obviously they're not there that much, so they're not going to use
Right.
the residence, but why do you think that he told them to kind of vacate the property?
So this really is about a hammer blow to Prince Andrew rather than the Sussexes. So this system, there's three residences at play in here. Frogmore's the one getting all the attention, but there is a 30-bedroom cottage, a mansion called Royal Lodge that was built by George IV, and it was the Queen Mother's home in the area until she died there in 2002, whereupon the lease was transferred to Prince Andrew. And a lot of these minor properties, smaller houses that the royal family own, there is a system that was set up in the 19th century where they're leased to trusted family servants, exiled cousins, or junior members of the family. And in return, these family members pay, way, way below the market value of these properties in rent. They don't own them. But the flip side of that is that they are legally under the responsibility of upkeeping those properties. So Prince Andrew has this 30-bedroom house that used to belong to the Queen Mother, and he's no longer a working royal. He was on a civil list on a salary of about £239,000 a year, and the king has announced that has to be drastically cut because he doesn't want Prince Andrew coming back into public life at all. Prince Andrew then asked for a job running the royal estates up at Balmoral, which, knowing Prince Andrew's track record with how he treats his staff, must have had every member of the Balmoral staff reciting the rosary that it wouldn't happen. And the king has said that there is no possibility of that. So Prince Andrew's salary income is about to be stripped back way, way below what he currently receives, and he won't be able to afford the upkeep of Royal Lodge. And the king considers it inappropriate that he lives there. Frogmore is a lot smaller. It will cost a lot less money to upkeep, and also Prince Andrew won't have a public role, but he will still be under protection. He won't be at risk of kidnapping or a terrorist attack or anything like that. But really, this is about getting Andrew out of Royal Lodge, and Prince Andrew is digging his heels in about being asked to leave very strongly, does not want to give up Royal Lodge, even though he won't be able to support the maintenance of it. The other thing, quite interestingly, is last week I thought there was some piece missing from this story. And we now know, it's now emerged that the king is offering, it's not so much an eviction of Harry and Meghan as it is a swap, because he's not only taking Royal Lodge off Prince Andrew, he's taking off Prince Andrew his pretty lavish apartment and suite at the heart of Buckingham Palace, and he's offering that to Harry and Meghan to use when they come to Britain. So Harry and Meghan will be at the heart of Buckingham Palace, at probably one of the best protected buildings in the world, in the sense that will hopefully soothe the fears that Prince Harry has about media intrusion, and he has voiced understandable concerns about his family's safety from media intrusion when they're in Britain. If they're at Buckingham Palace, there's no place that they will be safer from media intrusion. But also to give them a suite in Buckingham Palace at what is really essentially the symbolic heart of the monarchy in terms of the public's view of it, that indicates that the decision to remove Frogmore from them really was not as big of an insult as we initially thought last week. To be offering them a place, a very nice place to stay in Buckingham Palace, indicates a continued attempt at an olive branch. It also, however, indicates that with the removal of the Buckingham Palace accommodation and Royal Lodge, that there is absolutely no possibility of Prince Andrew ever returning to public working life as a royal. That the olive branches being extended to Harry, I think, are sincere. There's no olive branch being extended to Andrew, quite understandably. I was doing an interview about this last week and for the BBC here, and they said, do you think that Prince Andrew will come back to public life? And I jokingly said, there's more chance of the Titanic rising from the seabed.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below, and visit usmagazine.com.